Switzerland, nestled amidst the majestic Alps, is a land of breathtaking beauty, where nature's splendor meets a rich tapestry of history. Its story is one of resilience, unity, and an unwavering commitment to freedom. Our journey through Swiss history begins in the heart of Europe in the year 1291. This year marks the birth of the Swiss Confederation, a pivotal moment that laid the foundation for the nation we know today. It was a time of great change and upheaval, where the seeds of a unique political entity were sown. Picture a time when powerful empires dominated the European landscape. The Holy Roman Empire, a vast and influential force, held sway over much of the continent. Within its borders lay a region known as the Old Swiss Confederacy, encompassing three cantons, Uri, Schwyz, and Unterwalden. These cantons, though small in size, were rich in spirit and determination. These cantons, nestled in the rugged alpine terrain, yearned for self-governance and autonomy. The harsh and unforgiving landscape they called home only strengthened their resolve to seek freedom and self-determination. Driven by a shared desire for freedom and a determination to protect their ancient liberties, representatives from these three cantons gathered in a secluded meadow known as the Rütli. This gathering was not just a meeting, it was a symbol of their collective will and unity. Legend has it that under the cover of darkness, these brave men swore an oath of eternal alliance, pledging to stand together against any threat to their independence. This oath was more than words, it was a binding promise that would shape the future of their land. This solemn pact, known as the Federal Charter of 1291, marked the genesis of the Swiss Confederation. It was a document that would resonate through the ages, symbolizing the birth of a nation. The Federal Charter, a testament to the enduring spirit of the Swiss people, served as the cornerstone of their unity and self-determination. It was a declaration of their intent to remain free and united. It established a system of mutual defense and cooperation among the cantons, ensuring that they would support each other in times of need and adversity, laying the groundwork for a unique political entity that would withstand the test of time. This confederation, born out of necessity and a shared vision, would evolve into the Switzerland we know today, a beacon of democracy and stability in the heart of Europe. The fledgling Swiss Confederation, born out of a desire for freedom, soon faced a formidable challenge: the expansionist ambitions of the Habsburg Empire. The Habsburgs, one of the most powerful dynasties in Europe, controlled vast territories and sought to extend their dominion over the strategically important Alpine passes controlled by the Swiss. The clash between the nascent Swiss Confederation and the mighty Habsburg Empire was perhaps inevitable. The Swiss, fiercely independent and protective of their hard-won autonomy, refused to bow to Habsburg pressure. They saw the Habsburgs as a threat to their way of life, their liberties and their very existence as a free people. A series of conflicts erupted between the Swiss and the Habsburgs, battles that would shape the destiny of the Swiss nation. One of the most significant of these confrontations was the Battle of Morgarten in 1315. The Habsburg army, confident in its superior numbers and equipment, marched into the narrow valley of Morgarten, seeking to crush the Swiss resistance. The Swiss, however, were masters of their terrain. They knew every twist and turn of the valley, every hidden path and potential ambush point. Using their knowledge of the landscape to their advantage, the Swiss launched a surprise attack on the unsuspecting Habsburg forces. The Swiss victory at Morgarten sent shockwaves through Europe, marking a pivotal moment in the region's history. The seemingly invincible Habsburg army had been defeated by a force of mountain farmers and artisans, a feat that seemed almost impossible at the time. This victory not only secured Swiss independence, but also inspired other oppressed peoples across the continent, igniting a spark of hope and resistance in many hearts. The Swiss, once an insignificant force on the fringes of the Holy Roman Empire, had become a symbol of resistance against tyranny, embodying the spirit of defiance and self-determination. Emboldened by their success, the Swiss Confederation began to expand, incorporating neighboring territories and cantons into its fold, steadily growing in power and influence. New members, drawn to the promise of freedom and self-governance, joined the Confederation, strengthening its position against external threats and enhancing its collective strength. However, this period of expansion was not without its challenges, as the Confederation faced numerous obstacles along the way. Internal conflicts, often rooted in religious and economic differences, emerged within the Confederation, creating friction among its members. The Swiss, while united in their opposition to external threats, grappled with internal divisions that threatened to undermine their hard-won unity, testing their resolve and cohesion. These internal struggles, a testament to the complex dynamics of any growing nation, were as much a part of Switzerland's story as its battles against foreign powers, highlighting the multifaceted nature of their journey. Despite these internal challenges, the Swiss Confederation continued to evolve, adapting its political structures and forging a sense of shared identity that transcended regional and religious differences, showcasing their resilience and adaptability. The Swiss, through dialogue, compromise, and a shared commitment to their confederation, managed to navigate these turbulent times, emerging stronger and more united, setting a precedent for future generations. Section 4. A New Dawn, Independence and the Treaty of Westphalia. The year 1648 marked a watershed moment in European history, bringing an end to the devastating 30 Years' War. A conflict that had embroiled much of the continent in a seemingly endless cycle of violence and destruction. This conflict, fueled by religious and political tensions, had ravaged the continent for decades, leaving a trail of destruction and upheaval in its wake. Entire towns were reduced to ruins, and the social fabric of many regions was torn apart. The Treaty of Westphalia, signed in that fateful year, aimed to bring a lasting peace to Europe. It was a monumental diplomatic effort, involving numerous negotiations and compromises among the warring states. For Switzerland, the Treaty of Westphalia held particular significance. It was a turning point that would shape the nation's future for centuries to come. It formally recognized the Swiss Confederation as an independent entity, free from the dominion of the Holy Roman Empire. This recognition was not just a political victory, but also a validation of the Swiss people's long-standing quest for autonomy. This recognition marked the culmination of centuries of struggle and sacrifice, a testament to the Swiss people's unwavering commitment to self-determination. Celebrations erupted across the Confederation as people rejoiced in their newfound freedom. Swiss independence, however, was not merely a legal formality. It was a profound affirmation of the Confederation's unique identity and values. It was a reflection of the Confederation's unique character, its steadfast neutrality in a continent driven by conflict. This neutrality was not just a policy, but a deeply ingrained part of the Swiss national consciousness. While other European powers engaged in endless wars of aggression and conquest, Switzerland charted a different course, choosing to remain neutral in the face of international turmoil. This decision was both strategic and moral, aimed at preserving the nation's integrity and well-being. This policy of neutrality, deeply ingrained in the Swiss psyche, was not born out of isolationism or indifference to the suffering of others. Rather, it was a conscious choice to foster peace and stability. It stemmed from a pragmatic understanding of the Confederation's geopolitical realities and a deep-seated desire to preserve peace and stability within its borders. The Swiss people understood that their strength lay in unity and neutrality, principles that continue to guide the nation to this day. Section 5. The Age of Neutrality. Navigating the Napoleonic Wars. The late 18th and early 19th centuries witnessed the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, a military genius who would reshape the map of Europe. Napoleon's conquests and ambitions plunged the continent into a series of conflicts known as the Napoleonic Wars. These wars tested the resolve of nations, including Switzerland, which found itself caught in the crosscurrents of European power politics. Despite the turmoil engulfing Europe, Switzerland remained steadfast in its commitment to neutrality. However, this neutrality was not without its challenges. Napoleon, seeking to consolidate his control over Europe, invaded Switzerland in 1798, ending the ancient confederation and establishing the Helvetic Republic, a centralized state modeled after the French Republic. The Helvetic Republic, while introducing some progressive reforms, proved to be short-lived and deeply unpopular among many Swiss. The centralized nature of the new republic ran counter to the Swiss tradition of cantonal sovereignty and self-governance. Resentment towards the Helvetic Republic and French domination grew, fueling calls for a return to Swiss independence. In 1813, with Napoleon's empire crumbling, Swiss representatives met in the town of Stans to draft a new constitution. This constitution, known as the Pact of 1815, restored the Swiss Confederation and reaffirmed the principle of cantonal sovereignty.